counting. 3, 2, 1. You made to the gases, finally. So on this white locker there, grab everything, equip the suit and all the items, and let's get started. There is a lot to cover, and there isn't too much time for it. Big difference between gases and power, the one that you just did, is the complexity. Power is just the power, right? You just need to make sure we're not using more power than the cable can handle, and that's basically it. With gases, you not only have different types of gases, but the gas itself has different states. And you combine everything, it becomes a real nightmare to deal with. Especially when we are not used to the terms and what's going to happen. But fear not, we're gonna mystify all of this. Don't forget you have some oxygen tank and nitrogen if you want to use the jetpack, although jetpack's not required for this one. Basic pressurize, and we will have a little expedition outside. I hope you get everything from the locker, and we should be starting. Alright, to start, next to the white locker, you're going to see an orange one. That's a fridge. If you get the tablet and you point to the fridge, you're going to see that it has a temperature of negative 131 and has some nitrogen on it. It's a marvelous design. You can open the fridge and the temperature won't change, right? And you can look at the ices on top, they are not melting. It's quite impressive piece of engineering, right? So you can grab an ice, just choose one and grab it and look at your hand. See the numbers going down, that's the ice melting. Put the ice back there and close the fridge. So that is first state, solid, right? So for the ice to be an ice, it needs to be below 0 degrees Celsius, or it needs to be in a vacuum. So for the solid alone, you already have some or and some but, right? So if you are in a vacuum and you need to melt some ice, you just put it to the sunlight, right? As long as it has sunlight, it will melt. If it is on the shadow, it will not melt. Any other place that has some gases, it needs to be below 0 degrees. If it's above, it's gonna melt. That covers ice or solid. Let's go next to the fridge. You see a sign saying gas and then an orange pipe with a yellow meter on the top. If you look at the meter, you're going to see it tells you the pressure of the pipe, the temperature, the capacity, and how many liquids it has there, which is nothing. Should be no liquids in your gas pipe, but more for that later. If you get your tablet and look at the pipe, not at the pipe meter, you need to be looking at the pipe itself. It's going to tell you the same thing you saw in the pipemeter, plus additional information about which gases you have there and if it's heating up or cooling down or whatever. So that's the gas pipe. Now go to the next sign, you're going to see liquid, right? Same thing. If you look at the pipemeter, it tells you some information about it: pressure, temperature, capacity, and liquids. And this one actually has liquids, right? It's a liquid pipe. And if you get your tablet and take a look at the liquid pipe, you're gonna see water twice, H2O, H2O. So let's understand real fast here. So take a look. In front of the white locker, you're gonna see a big leaked water tank. So that's there just to help you visualize. Imagine this as being your liquid pipe. You have gas on the top, even though you can't see, and then you have liquid, right? In this case, both is water, right? So if you look back on the pipe, liquid pipe, with the pipe analyzer, you're going to see exactly this. Two water symbols. One is gas and one is liquid. The liquid one does not want to be liquid, it wants to be gas. So you need to have some gas there to pressure enough it for it to stay as liquid. Now you look at this in what is what, right? You can identify the liquid by the little droplet symbol, right? So you see the H2O on the left has a little droplet on the top and a little thing on the bottom, right? Whereas on the right is just the symbol H2O and nothing else. That's the difference. On the left you have liquid, on the right you have only gases. If you look at the gas pipe, you see all of them are just gas. They don't have this extra symbol on the sign. Right? Then you can take a moment and just compare both signs a little bit, and you're gonna see the difference. Okay. So now, those are the three states. We just call it gas because it's easier, right? Element, item, whatever you want to call it. We just call gas. Just remember that we have three states: solid, gas, and liquid. The gas go into the gas pipe. The liquid goes into the liquid pipe. Although you can have some liquids in the gas pipe and some gas into the liquid pipe. You have to have some gas in the liquid pipe, otherwise you have no liquids. Let's talk limits. So use your best friend, Stationeer, press F1, and just type pipe junction. And choose one junction, just choose the first, like D junction, whatever, doesn't matter. What you're looking for here is the max pressure, right? You see volume 10 liters and then max pressure 60,795, or in short, 60 megapascal. That's how much pressure you can have into the gas pipe. Now, again, do the same. Press F1, but instead of pipe junction, you're going to type liquid pipe junction. And you're going to grab one of the junctions, doesn't matter which. And you're going to see it has a volume, 20 liters, and a max pressure of 6 megapascals, right? It's not 60, it's just 6, right? Way less. And the volume in liters is higher. So keep those numbers in mind because that's going to be relevant later on. And just remember, Stationeer is there, is your friend, and has all the numbers, so you don't need to memorize anything. They always be there. Now, if you look at the signs just after the liquid, it tells you the green sign, right? There's a green sign, yellow sign, and then red sign. Start with the green sign. So more stuff, more pressure, same temperature. Below it says more temperature, more pressure, same stuff. What does this even mean, right? This means if you add more gas to a pipe, that will increase the pressure, but the temperature won't change. So it's a way of changing the pressure without changing the temperature. Or you can add the temperature, right? So you raise the temperature, you heat up the gas. That will also increase the pressure, but the amount of stuff you have won't change. Don't worry, we're going to do an experiment and you're going to see this actually happening. It will make more sense. Now, the yellow line, the sign. Say less stuff, less pressure, same temperature, less temperature, less pressure, same stuff. It is exactly the invert of the other one. In the green sign, we are adding. In the yellow sign, we are removing. Exactly the same behavior. Now, it gets interesting when you go to the red sign. So the red sign is telling you about changing the states. Remember, we have gas, liquid, and solid. So you saw the solid on the fridge, and you saw the liquid and the gas on the tank there. Now, when you force a gas into a liquid by adding more pressure, it will then also raise in temperature, right? So the temperature here will change. And if you do the inverse, if you remove the gas, allowing the liquid to become a gas again, so it will do the inverse. The temperature will drop and the system will cool down. Now this only happens if it is actually changing from gas to liquid or liquid to gas. Right? If there is no change from gas to liquid to gas, this will not happen. Right? And then you are left with just the same temperature or the same stuff. Got it? I hope you do, because there's a lot to cover. So let's go a little bit further, and you're gonna keep walking on the corridor. You're gonna see a yellow locker. Gonna open the locker, and you grab the pipe heater. Now, next to the yellow locker, you see a pipe with some cables pre-made there, And you just need to put this pipe heater next to the cables, but make sure you rotate the pipe heater so the cable sign, the power sign of the cable, is actually connected to the cable, so the pipe heater can actually function. So I hope you remember which one is the power symbol. Place both pipe heaters there. If you place it wrong, just get the hand drill and place them again. Once you place them correctly and the power button is facing you, because you might be placing it backwards and the power button might be facing the wall, just remove it, rotate it, place it again, and then turn on the pipe heaters. Get your tablet and point it to the pipe, not the pipe heater, right? The tablet can't read pipe heater, can't hit pipe meters. You need to point to the pipe itself. And you see that's doing exactly what the signs were telling. If you increase the temperature, right, temperature is rising, pressure will also raise. But see the numbers on each symbol, right? Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, none of those are changing. The amount of stuff is not changing. That's exactly what the signs were telling. Now, grab the radiators from the yellow locker and also grab the screwdriver, put it in your belt, and let's go into the airlock. So inside this red airlock, you're gonna see a monitor, advanced airlock control with an error. With the screw in your hand, on the left side of the monitor, there is a little screw in the middle. You can use the screwdriver to change it, so you can configure the airlock. We'll not go in deep into the airlock, but just so you know how to make the basics of it. So on the top, you have two numbers that are equal 101, like external 101, internal 101. What you want to do is click on each and set them to 0. Right? Don't worry, we're not gonna go in deep into this. It will still work. Second thing you need to do is, if you look around, if you look at the door or the active vent, you see that they have names, right? External vent, external airlock, internal airlock, internal vent. And that's what you want to do. In the middle of the airlock monitor there, you just need to match. You're gonna match everything that starts with external with the word exterior, and everything that's internal with the word interior, right? So just go from the top to the bottom. Everything that is not matching, you just ignore. When it match xt dot something exterior, then you click on it. It's gonna become green. Then you go to the next one. Exterior airlock exterior. Click on that. Now you're going to match the things that are interior, right? Interior vent, interior airlock, and there should be 4. Only thing left is the gas sensor. Just find the gas sensor and click on gas sensor. Don't click on anything else. Get the screwdriver, click on the screw on the side again, and that should end the configuration of the airlock. Granted, we did explain most of what we've done here, but you really don't need to worry about this. It will work most of the time. So make sure you close your suit and you have oxygen and everything, and then click on cycle. That's a basic configuration of advanced airlock. It works in most places. It's not optimal though. Now, if you turn to the right, you're gonna see that orange pipe that we just add the pipe radiators. Not radiators, the pipe heaters. And if you look at the pipe with the tablet, you're going to see that there's a lot of pressure there, like 1.5 megapascals, and the temperature is 2000, right? It was 400 something, now it's 2000. So the pipe heaters really heat up the pipe. Sorry, just getting my coffee. Now, what you're going to do is leave the pipe, leave the tablet on your hand and leave it on, because we're going to be fast here. And then grab the pipe radiators, put it in your other hand. So you want to start placing it, but don't place it, just see the hologram. And with the scroll in your mouse, you're going to switch the types, right? You see I have 2 types, pipe convection and pipe radiator. they are the same thing, right? The difference that one works in the vacuum and the other one works in a place that's not a vacuum. So you want the one that's for not a vacuum, so the convection one. So scroll until you see pipe convection radiator, and I'm gonna place just one radiator, and very fast get your tablet and take a look at the pipe. See how the temperature and pressure are dropping? That's exactly what the sign were telling, right? The green sign and the yellow sign. Now, you might get this wrong, so we're gonna get this out of the way. The radiator is not cooling the pipe. It's not a cooling mechanism. In this case, yes, it's cooling the pipe, but the radiator only equalizes. So if you look at your tablet and you don't point to a pipe, point to anything else, point to the sky or to the ground, you see it's on the word, and the word is quite hot, 464 Celsius. And if you look at the pipe, you see the pipe is close to it, it's 491. It's not getting equal because we still have the pipe heaters on, so they're still trying to heat up the pipe. The only thing the radiator is doing is equalizing the outside with the inside. That's it. That's the only thing the radiator does. It equalizes. So if it's way hotter here, the pipe will get hot. If it's way cooler here, the pipe will get cooler. And the inverse is also true. Okay, so now if you look at the other side on the airlock, you're going to see a big vent on the ground, a little pipe, and a pipe emitter there with nothing inside it. Right? You can check with the tablet, there's nothing inside the pipe. Now you keep an eye on the pipe emitter. What you're going to do is turn on the active vent, then move back a little bit. See how the pipe emitter is going way fast. It got you the red, it's making noise. Turn off the active vent, and just look at the pipe emitter. It's telling you that the pressure is above 6 megapascal, probably 100 something. So if you get a screwdriver in your hand, you can look at the pipes and you can see which pipe is going to break and how fast it's breaking. You can repair the pipe if you had the materials, like if it was a real emergence, but in most cases you're probably not going to even see it. Right? We realize that it's blow up after it's already blow up. So once the pipe blow up, you see now that all the pressure that was there got lost, right? And then the pipe will just become equal to the word. So that's what happened if you exceed the limits on the pipe. Remember the limits that we look at the Stationeer? You can always check them. That's what happened. The pipe will just break. Okay, let's go back inside. It's too hot here. Just enter the airlock and click on the cycle. The airlock takes a while to open. Again, it's not optimal, it's a basic setup. Now, turn off the pipe heaters just to save power here. We don't want to waste power. And let's keep moving. Let's go to the green locker there. Now, the green locker, you see there is already some setup here in a machine half built, a filtration. So your job here is exactly the same. So open the locker, get the kit filtration, and before you put in the ground, just take a look at how many types of machines you have. Just like the radiator, right? You have more than one type of machine. You have AC, you have electrolyzer, you have other stuff. In this case, you want the filtration. So we want to put the filtration next to the pipes and the cables, just like the one that's already there. So rotate it so it matches the same orientation, and then all the connections are identical. And you can see how the pipes and the cables will match. Before you place it, while you're still in the hologram, pay attention on the input and output arrows, right? You can see the pipes, right? The 3 orange pipes, and there are some arrows, yellow arrows pointing like in and out. That's a good way to know what's the input and output before you place anything. So place the filtration unit and just finish building it. If you forget how to do it, just get a screwdriver in your hand and look at the kit. That's being built, and they're going to tell you what you are missing and how the materials are in the locker. Okay, so you should have been able to build your filtration unit. Now you could go into the Stationeer F1 and type filtration, and you see filtration at the bottom there, and that will explain what the filtration does, and a lot of information that you probably have no idea what it is. So close the Stationeer. It's always there if you want to check. Another way you can understand what's happening with the filtration unit is just to turn it on and see what happened. Right, so before we do that, get your tablet in your hand and take a look at those two pipes on the other side. Right, there is one pipe in the input with the green passive vent, and there is two pipes on the other side, right, like in a L shape. And if you look in between the pipe and the machine, you can see the name of the output: filter and filter. Right, there is output, input, depends on the machine where you are looking at. In between the pipe and the machine. So it's a filtration unit, right? It's going to filtrate something, and that's a filter output and an unfiltered output, right? So if you just turn on the machine for half a second and turn it off, like on, half a second, off. You get your tablet, you take a look at those two pipes. You see one is empty, the other one has some gases. Well, that's expected, right? So even if you don't know what the machine is supposed to do, you just turn it on and off and see what happens. So you have a filtration unit with no filters. Turn it on, everything moves to the unfilter, which makes sense. There is no filter, so just put everything into one filter side. The filter side is completely empty. So grab a filter, or grab nitrogen, for example, put in the filtration unit, and then do again. Turn it on, half a second, off. With your tablet, again, take a look at the output of both pipes, and you see one has only nitrogen and the other one is still have other stuff there. Okay, but that's it. That's what the filtration does, and that's how you can figure out most of the machines. Even if you never built a machine before and don't know what to do, go outside your base and just turn it on and off and see what happens. It's not that hard, really. You don't need a book for every single machine. Got it? Good. So let's go to the blue section, to the blue locker. Don't worry if you feel that's a little rushed. Yeah, that's a lot to cover, and there's a lot to take in. You can redo this as many times as you want until you get the hang of it. All right, on the blue locker, what you're going to do is get your tablet and take a look at this orange pipe on the ground. It has pollutants, right? So now, before we do anything here, so remember we have gas, liquids, and solids, and we have to have the Stationeer has out the numbers. So let's take a look at the pollutants, right? Go to Stationeer, type pollutant. There will be a lot of pollutant, this and that. The one that's just the symbol, pollutant, right? The yellow one. Click on that and then scroll a bit, you're going to see a graph. Keep scrolling until the graph takes the whole screen, and you can see temperature and pressure. There is a little checkbox on the top that says use Celsius. You can click that if you prefer Celsius, or you leave us Kelvin if you prefer. Now, what you're looking for here, if you place your cursor more or less in the first I of the liquid, don't need to be exact, just around it. You see temperature is around 20 degrees if you're using Celsius, and the pressure is like 30,508, right? So 3 megapascals, 3.5 megapascals, something like that. So this is in between, like it's in between gas. You can see the graph say gas below and liquid on top. So this is right in between. This means if you are right here and you increase the pressure, so you go up in the pressure graph, it will become a liquid. That's what it's telling you. That's why liquid is above the line. If you go below in pressure, imagine the same temperature, you're then in the gas territory, so it will become a gas, right? And then you can also do the same movement, but instead of going up and down, you go sideways in the temperature, right? So same pressure, and you increase the temperature, it will then become a gas. If in the same pressure you decrease the temperature, then you become a liquid. So you don't need to memorize this, but when you have a gas and you're going to compress or you're going to expand, as you tell when we remove gases, that's the graph you need to keep in mind. Those are the numbers that's going to tell you what's going to happen. So if you're thirsty or if you're hungry, you can always eat and drink. Don't need to stop for this, but just letting you know, so you don't have those annoying warnings with the suit. Okay, back on the lesson. So take a look at the pipe. 26 degrees, around more or less what we said, but the pressure is just 1.6. And if you look at the graph again, you see we need like 3.5 megapascals for this to become a liquid. That's why it's just a gas. So what we're gonna do here, we're going to get your tablet, leave it on, and in the other hand, you're going to, just like we did with the filtration, you're gonna turn it, the active vent on and off very fast for half a second. On, off. And now look at the pipe with the tablet and see how the pressure is now above 3 megapascals, and then the stress is going up, liquid starts to forming up, temperature is raising. This is exactly what the sign was telling you. Now if the stress is going too high and the pipe start making noises, just change the mode on the active vent and turn it on and off a little bit to remove a little bit of the stress. As long as the stress is not above 100%, it's stable, it's going down, it's fine. So what we did, we add gas, we increase the pressure, force the pollutants into a liquid, they heat up, become a liquid, and the pipe don't like liquid. This is a gas pipe, doesn't want to have liquid on it. So it allows a little bit, so that's why it's fine if you have just a little bit. And it starts to break. So you go into the active vent, change the mode, and then remove the gas, so the pressure is not too much. Now the liquid is evaporating, it's becoming a gas again, and it's cooling down. That's what we just have here. Everything that is on the sign there just happened here in this pipe all at once. Now, on the sign, on the pipe. If you look on the gas pipe, there is a little yellow thing on separating both gas pipe. Just turn it on and off. Just click on the valve on the top there. It will switch to the green, and then you click again, it will switch to the red. Don't worry, I'm gonna learn about valves later. So this valve is now change a little bit of the gas to this gas pipe that's isolated to the side. Before we do anything, take your tablet and take a look at both pipes, right? The one that we just open and close the valve, and the one that's connecting to the wall, right? The liquid one that's going inside the wall. See, one of them, the liquid one, has liquid nitrogen, very cold, negative 196, almost 200. And the gas pipe is like 29 degrees, like around 2 megapascals, depends on how long you left your vent on or off, but that doesn't matter. What matters is there is a lot of nitrogen, very cold nitrogen, and we have a little bit of gas there. So what we're going to do, we're going to cool down this pipe very fast. So we're going to do two things at once. We're going to create liquid on this pipe, which the pipe don't like, and it's going to break. We're also going to freeze the liquid until it becomes a solid, which also the pipe don't like, and it's going to break again. So two problems at once. So open the locker. Sorry, but my coffee is getting cold. In there, you're going to find a direct heat exchanger. And the name here of the machine actually does what it says it does. Heat exchange heat. That's it. So before you place the heat exchanger, like any other machine, use your scroll wheel and see the different types of variations you have. And you're going to see you have gas to gas, gas to liquid, and liquid to liquid. You want the one that's gas to liquid because we have one gas pipe and liquid pipe. And you're going to rotate it and make sure the liquid pipe is connected with the liquid and the gas with the gas. And you are sure that they are connected because the liquid pipe has a liquid symbol. And the entire thing becomes yellow. If the entire thing is green or just half yellow, that means it's not properly connected. Now, before you place the radiator, you're gonna have your tablet in your hand and on. Then you place your radiator and very quickly look at the gas pipe. It's squeaking, it's making liquid, and you're gonna see a new symbol. It's like a snowflake symbol on the pollutants. That's the symbol telling you that the pollutant is now wanting to become a solid, wanted to freeze, and your pipe probably already burst. So this is what's going to usually happen when you get someone that's starting and don't really know what's happening. So they just want to push a little bit of gas in the pipe, and the pipe become a liquid and it blows up. Or they want to cool down the system and they connect to a cooling line, and now the pipe freeze, blow up. That's going to happen a lot and is expected. So that's why we're doing this training, so you don't get too surprised when this happens to you. All right. Okay. So let's go on a little further on the corridor there, and then you see some signs: passive, active. And let's start with the passive. Now, those you see three orange things. You can get a screwdriver in your hand. It will make it easier to see what is what. So there is the passive vent, there is the pipe cool, or whatever you call it. There's just a pipe. Just a pipe is a mistake. Whoever built this place put a normal pipe here. This was supposed to be a broken pipe, just like the one that you burst outside when we overpressurize with the vent, or the one that broke when we connect with the nitrogen line. So those two are passive. What passive means? Passive means that you have no control over it. It will always equalize. Whatever gas in the exterior will get equalized with the gas in the pipe, and vice versa. The difference between each one of them is how fast they do it, but they basically do the same, and they basically do almost equally. You usually just want a passive vent, but yeah, the other two options are there. The active vent is basically the same, but there you have control over it, right? You decide when you're going to push gas inside the pipe or want to push gas outside of the pipe, just we just did with our little experiment there with the pollutant. The difference here, so you saw already the small active vent in the airlock training, and the big active vent outside. You see how powerful and how fast that thing blow up the pipe. So the difference here is control, right? The active vents, you have control over it. You can tell when they work and what they do. Extra thing, the small active vent has safety built into it, so you don't need to worry about it blowing up a pipe. That means you can leave an active vent on. If you have a small one, you can leave it on, the pipe will never blow up. It will make noises, but it won't blow up. Same with the walls and windows. If you're filling up a base, it won't blow up your walls or windows. Now, the medium and the big one, those don't have those safety built into it. Right? There is no safety for this part. You can't just leave them on. If you leave them on, they will blow up the pipe. As a matter of fact, this is the rule for all machines. Just a small active vent has the safety, right? Everything else, if you just turn it on, let's say the filtration unit you built back there, if you just turn it on, you can do it. Go back there, turn it on, leave it on, and we continue with the training. When you come back here later on, the pipe will be burst. It will blow up. So you need to keep this in mind, right? You don't want to leave your machine running, because that's probably going to get you some problems. All right, so let's keep going on the corridor there. You're going to see a pipe, a weird pipe shape, and a sign telling you one network. One network, what does this mean? It means if you connect things with pipes or tanks, you see between the yellow and the orange, there's a little round thing. Yeah, there's a tank. As long as you connect pipes and tanks together, it's just one thing. It means doesn't matter where, which side and how far apart they are. If you heat up in one side and cool down in the other side, or you add in one side and you remove in the other, it's all one thing, will act instantly. Right? So you have a pipe inside your base, and then you have all the way on the other side of the mountain a little radiator radiator heat out, that will work, as long as it's just one single big section of pipe connect with each other and tanks. Now, everything else you put in between a pipe, just like the valve or machine, right, a filtration unit, anything else, that will separate into different networks, which means they are not connected anymore. So they're isolated. And that's where we're gonna go with the other machines now. So if you keep going, you see the sign, you see pumps. A pump is just a pump. It does what the name suggests it does, and the arrow points the direction. So you can see there's two types of pumps and two types twice, right? So one for liquid, one for gas, right? The yellow and the blue, that's true for most machines. But there is the small pump and the big pump. They are all basically the same. You have a little dial to tell the speed of the pump, like how fast it works. The arrow that's pointing to a direction, that's the actual on and off button, and also tells you the direction. Now the big pump, you can change the direction so the arrow doesn't turn it on and off. So there is a dedicated button to turn it on and off, and a dial to control the speed as well. The big one is much more powerful, much faster, also takes way more power. One thing that's true for all machines that move gases is that if you have too much gas in one side and too little on the other, it will affect how fast the machine works. So if you have one side that's empty and you are pumping to this empty side, it will work very fast. Now if you have this output side that's very full, like 50 megapascals, and the input is very little, like less than megapascal, let's say 500 kPa or 1 kPa, that will be very hard for the machine to push this tiny bit of gas into a place that is way overpressurized. So just keep in mind, all machines that deal with gases will work slowly or faster, depends on the pressure that you have in the inside on the outside. Don't worry too much about it. It's just something to keep in mind. Just finished my coffee. Now, moving the regulators. Regulators are the exception here. Regulators are machines that are designed to be on. So the pumps, if you left on, just like the filtration unit, by the way, you can go back and check the filtration unit, probably blow up already. Take a look at the output pipe, yeah, blow up. Turn off the filtration, please, to save power. And that's a blow up pipe. That's what's supposed to have on that passive there. So go back on the regulators. Regulators are the exception. Regulators are meant to be on. They are meant to be left on, and they will regulate the pressure. That's what they do. So there's again two types of regulators, or four, right? The gas and the liquid, and then two different kinds of it. Take a look at them. They are very similar to each other, but the arrow has a slight difference, right? One, there is a little bar and the arrow, and the other one has a little arrow and then the bar. The arrow that's pointing the direction is where the control is happening, right? One, and the bar is the regulator itself. So one is regulating the pressure after the machine, and the other one is regulating the pressure before the machine. That's simple, right? But let's give you some examples so it doesn't sound too weird. So take a look at the first one. It's pressure regulator. It's regulating the pressure after the pressure regulator. So you can set a value here, let's say 8 megapascals, right? And then we'll keep the pipe after it at 8 megapascals, assuming you have enough on the input to make it fill up. Now, once it reaches 8 megapascal, you just do nothing, right? It will not keep adding, different from the pump and the other machines. As soon as you remove the gas from there, you use to fill up your oxygen tank, then you will refill it and keep on the target pressure you left. That's the pressure regulator. And the next one is the back pressure regulator. It does the same opposite, right? It regulates the pressure before the machine or before the regulator. It's usual for safety, or if you wanted to evaporate something, right? So you keep at lower pressure, and that will remove the excess. So example here will be if you want the system to be at 30 megapascals, you set the back pressure regulator to 30 megapascals. As soon as the systems go above 30, it will remove some gas, so it allows it to go below 30 megapascals. That's basically it. Now, if we move one more line, they're still in the pressure in the regulators territory, and you see we still have the same arrows and symbols. So those two are still working exactly the same way, but they are meant for gases only, and they connect two different kinds of pipe. Got it? So the first one is a pressurant. It's moving gas from a gas pipe to a liquid pipe. And you want to do this so you have some gas on the liquid pipe to prevent the liquid from evaporating, right? So you want a liquid to become a liquid. And you're going to know the pressure you need based on the state-to-PD values, right? So that's what the pressurant does. It's also a regulator, so you can't leave this one on, right? It won't blow up the gas pipe. And then below it, we have the purge valve. And the purge valve does the same. It removes the gas from the liquid pipe to the gas pipe. And you can see the symbols. They're exactly the same as the regulator and back pressure regulator. One's work after and one works before. So the purge valve, you're going to set the limit pressure you want, and if it goes above that limit, it will remove the gas. That's simple. Now onto the valves. Well, the valves are the simplest, really. You already use one there. It's just on and off, right? So remember that we said pipes like one. If don't break the pipe, there is no machine in between. It's like one network. When you connect a valve or a purge or a valve, regulator or a machine or anything, you separate in two different networks. So a valve is a quick way to just connect those two networks together again. They're going to still be two networks, but they will equalize. So a valve is just, imagine like a imaginary pipe that you can put and remove as you will. So you connect the pipe there, you turn on the valve, the position of the valve is on the green side. Both sides will equalize. There are still two different networks, but they will equalize. If you put them off, now they're completely separate networks and they will not equalize. That's it. That's what the valve does. Next, you have the one-way valve. One-way valve is basically the same as the valve, but the equalized part only happens in one direction. The direction that happens is the same direction as the arrow is showing. If you take a closer look at the arrow, you're going to see a symbol that you probably remember. It's the symbol of the back pressure regulator or the purge valve. Why? That means this only happens when the input side has a pressure that's higher than the output side, right? So this is just a valve, right? It's a one-way valve and then has a built-in functionality that prevents gas from moving backwards. But it's not magic. There is no way for it to make the gas from the low side go to the other side that has more pressure. You need a pump for that. So the only way the gas moves is that you have to have more pressure in the input side. Then it will equalize, never backwards. A good example is like for a fuel line. You can bust the fuel line, the pressure will explode in values, right? So you don't want the explosion go back into your line. This will prevent it from happening. Okay, and finally, the last one, the condensation and the expansion valve. Again, we're still in valve territory, so it's just a connection between the pipes. This one you already used, the condensation, or no? No, we didn't, but we're gonna use. I got messing up the lines here. So what the valve does in this case here for the condensation and for the expansion. Condensation valve, you're going to move liquids from a gas pipe to a liquid pipe, and you're going to do this so you can see it happen. Well, it's a good thing to move the liquids from a gas pipe to a liquid pipe because you prevent the gas pipe from breaking. Now, below it, you have a pipe bursting device, or the correct name, expansion valve. Most call it pipe bursting because this will move the liquids from the liquid pipe to a gas pipe. Well, the gas pipe is not made to handle liquids, so when you force the liquid to go into the gas pipe, yes, it will evaporate, but also gonna break the pipe. So it works, but you need to be very careful. You need to know what you are doing. Most time you just burst the pipe. So let's go back to the blue locker there and get a wrench. You should have a wrench in you or not in the locker. And remove this valve that is in between the heat exchanger and the gas pipe. Now you're going to place the valve, but before you place the valve, you're going to change the type until you find the condensation valve. You're going to place it between the gas pipe and the liquid pipe that's on the ground. Right, you can inspect the liquid pipe and see that it's nothing on it. It should be nothing on it. Right, so just place the expansion valve there, condensation valve, sorry. Now again, take a look at the liquid pipe, nothing on it. Take a look at the gas pipe. You should have no liquid on it. If it has some liquid on it, that's fine, don't worry. So what we're gonna do is change the mode on the active vent, make sure both buttons are red. And then again, we're gonna do the same experiment, turn it on and off for half a second, right? On, off. Now if your tablets, take a look at the pipe, you see stress increasing, there's some liquids forming, temperature increasing. Now you open the condensation valve. Take a look at the pipe again. You see the stress drastically decreases. The temperature is still raising because we're still making liquids. Now take a look at the temperature on the gas pipe. 38, 39, 36, depends on how much pressure you have. Now take a look at the liquid pipe. Liquid pipe has only pollutants, maybe some liquid pollutants, but take a look at the temperature. Negative 40 probably. And that's the thing, right? That the pipe was empty. There was no gas there. So the liquid pollutant were forced into the liquid pipe and then immediately evaporate. And then when a liquid evaporates, it cools down. Remember what happened when we connected the gas line with the nitrogen line? That immediately liquefy and then freeze and blow up. That's exactly what might happen in this case if you keep allowing this to happen. As you add more and more liquid pollutant, this pipe will eventually freeze and blow up. That's a common error that happens, right? So people just connect the condensation valve to a gas pipe. So okay, I'm safe. If there's liquid, the liquid will be moved. And then the liquid pipe is the one that breaks. Okay, so go back to the end of the holder. And we reach the end, right? So condensation valve and expansion valve move liquids from one pipe to another. And there is a little room with a monitor on the top there that's off. So what you want to do is grab the screwdriver, turn on the monitor. So take a look at the room first, right? So it's a room with a gas sensor, some pipes, some device, some cables. This room is designed to show you one particular thing. So on the monitor, on the left side of the monitor, you see a screw just like the advanced airlock monitor. Click on the screw with the screwdriver, and in the middle, you're going to see gas sensor and liquid pipe analyzer. You're going to click on the gas sensor only. So gas sensor is green, liquid pipe analyzer is white. And then for the screwdriver, you're going to click on the screw again. So that's telling you that this room is reading from the gas sensor 4 megapascals. Okay? Okay. So now with the screwdriver, you're going to change the screw again. You're going to click on the gas sensor again. So you're going to become white again. And finally, you click on the pipe analyzer. And then with the screw, change the screw. We effectively change what the monitor is reading. So the monitor was reading the gas sensor, now the monitor is reading the pipe analyzer. And it's telling you that the pipe analyzer has 7.5 megapascals. Now, I hope you did catch the thing here, but if you did not, just press F1 again and type liquid pipe junction. Select one, right? T junction, whatever. And take a look again, max pressure, 6 megapascals. 6. This pipe 7.5. It should be way broken by now, but it's perfectly fine. That's the thing. Everything that loads, that has a number, as a max number. So you can say a wall, just type iron window. And if you click on the actual iron window, not on the kit, you're gonna see it has a max pressure of 200 kPa. This max pressure is the difference in pressure. It's always the difference, right? So even though this pipe is way above 6 megapascal, this room has 4 megapascal in pressure. So if you just subtract like 7 minus 4, you're gonna see that we are below the max of 6 megapascals. That's the thing, right? It's a difference. And this applies to everything. So that's a little thing to keep in mind. And that's it, right? It's not that hard, really. You just need to keep in mind that there's a lot of types of gas, and each gas has different numbers. And you need to consider what's going to happen when you fill up a pipe. This little experiment in the blue locker is simulating most of the problems the initiators usually do, and you're probably going to do it. The rule of thumb here is do it outside at first. Just build it outside and see what happens, and before you actually build inside your base. Same for the machines, right? Don't expect a full walkthrough on every single machine or engineer make. Just connect to one outside and take a look and see how it works. You have the tablet and you have the Stationeer. Those two are your best friends. Then you have the cards on the tablet. Just check the configuration, the power, the gases, right? That's all you need to figure out how to work with each machine. Okay, you're free to stay here as long as you like, do whatever experiment you like. This training is over. Especially you are free to redo this training as much as you like. Okay, wait till the next one. Good luck.